What is up, guys? Sonduren from Canadian Rider here. Today we're going to be doing a full review of the Blackvue DR900S 4K Dual Channel Dashcam. So here it is. This is the Blackvue DR900S. This is the dual channel version. So you have the front sensor that records at 4K ultra high definition. Then you have the rear sensor and unit doing 1080p. Now, these cameras got an ultra wide 162-degree angle. So you're going to see that in the videos. It captures a really wide angle. And this dash cam is the biggest feature on it is that 4K ultra high definition with H.265 compression for your videos, and this is going to mean a lot of things for you. One, improved image quality on the 4K sensor up front, but also B, you're going to be getting a lot more data saved on your SD card with a H.265 compression than the old one where it was H.264. You're getting a huge amount of savings in terms of file sizes, so you can go with a smaller card if necessary because you have such a 4K beast in the front of the dash cam. The unit itself looks very nice. It's very sharp, slick, very stealth as well. When I unpack this, you know, you have a lot of different competitors coming out with different types, and this to me is one of my favorites. It sits in there. It doesn't look too like gargantuan. It's a good size, as you can see here. This unit comes with a built-in GPS, dual band Wi-Fi, 2.4 and 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi, which is really good. Built-in impact and motion detection. So this is very good as well because of the GPS. You're going to be able to detect any impacts and any movements when you're in parking mode or in continuous recording mode, which is very important. Now with the camera, I do have the hardwiring kit because one of the biggest things I want with a dash cam is the parking mode feature for my protection and safety. You know, if I leave my car out somewhere, I want to make sure that number one, everything's being recorded. Number two, if there was an accident, God forbid, I would have some evidence and maybe could get what happened or who did the damage to my car. So big part of me for dash cams is the safety protection. Now the Blackvue brings so many additional features that I really wanted. Before I get into the features and talk about the video quality, I want to talk to you about the installation. Honestly, the installation was very easy. It's very similar to other dash cams. There was nothing that was special or unique about the installation that made it easier or worse. Again, I hardwired mine into the fuse box. If you haven't seen how to do that properly, there are other videos online you could go ahead and look at how to properly install your dash cam when you want parking mode enabled, hardwired into your fuse box. But let's talk about the video quality now. Obviously with 4K I have high expectations and it is stunning. Look at the resolution, look at what you're seeing right now on the screen. This is exported in 4K. It is truly leaps and bounds better than any other 1080p or 2K offering that's out in the market right now. Everything is very clear. You can make out a lot of the signs in your peripherals right here. You can make out the license plates of these passing cars. You can make out the license plate of the car in front of me. Very easy to see a lot of text. The text is sharp. The text is clear. And what's really unique about all this is that it is clear for a lot of the moving aspects as well. If you're looking right now, a lot of these cars are actually whizzing by me on the left-hand side, and you're probably thinking, especially with some other dash cams, that you're not able to record that. Here, I'll show you an example. We'll freeze this car, and you can see the license plate easily here just by freezing the frame, showing the license plate just as easy like that. And a lot of other cars you don't have, or a lot of other dash cams, you don't have the resolution to do this. So in the event that you actually need license plate information from somebody, you may not even get it because the dash cam wouldn't be able to actually catch it in that quality and in that resolution. So the 4K is a huge benefit here in terms of just overall security and protection for yourself. And then this is the 1080p sensor. Again, this is a pretty average sensor on the rear, 1080p. It's going to do some stuff for you, and I'll show you guys some low light in the future in the head of this video, but you know, it's pretty standard. And the fact that it's a dual channel dash cam is really helpful because now I can see what's going on behind me. I can see what's happening in front of me. I pretty much almost have a 360-degree view of what's happening around the car, and this still provides enough detail to see that license plate as you see there. This is a little bit of the low light performance. Low light's really critical too because a lot of the times when you're thinking about, you know, having your car in a dangerous situation, you think about nighttime. So right now I'm just showing you some low light. The low light is so impressive out of the 4K sensor. You can tell here the grain is very minute. Like, you're not seeing too much grain in the video quality here, which is really good to see. You know, a lot of the shadows still retain the detail, which is great. And again, at 4K resolution, it's just so clear. Everything is so clear here. You can see the license plate on the right on this car, the signs, the license plate in front of me with the tinted covers. You could see the street names in front of you there. You can see Like this car's passing, you see his license plate very easily. So pretty much all the detail that you may ever need, who knows, and what sort of problems that you ever get, you'll be able to get that detail from the front-facing sensor, which is outstanding. Because what's the point of a dash cam and what's the point of recording video when you can't use the video and it's unusable? There's no point. So video quality is amazing. Nighttime performance is also very good. Check this out. Very little noise. Again, this is helped up with the Sony Examor sensor in the front, 4K resolution. It's allowing a lot more light in the sensor than a traditional dash cam. Thus, you're getting this really clear image at night. Again, very impressive nighttime performance. I'm really happy with this. You do notice on the light sources there is a little bit of blooming. That is because it did rain. It just kind of rained here, and there is a little bit of like wetness, I guess, on the windshield, so don't mind that. But it is very clear. And again, you notice the blooming, but it's still very clear. I'm really impressed with it, especially the lack of grain in the image. It's really impressive. You'll notice a lot of times with dash cams at night, they fail to perform like at all. Like they are really bad at night. It's hard to discern details. It's hard to even see. A lot of it's just really dark and black. It's really tough. But with the front sensor here, you're having great performance, and the rear nighttime performance as well is respectable. Take a look at this. This is the 1080p rear shooter in the back of the car, and again, respectable, great nighttime performance from both the front and the rear sensors. Now let's talk about probably the most important feature that I'm looking for out of this dash cam from an Audi R8 is the parking mode. So it's got the motion detection mode and the impact detection mode recording. So here, for example, you can see the garage door is open, motion detection mode is on. It obviously recorded something. It's a pre-buffered recording. What that means, it's going to find out when the event happened. When the event happened, is actually recording 10 seconds prior. So you see here, it was already recording. The event was this blue car pulling up in front of my driveway and about to park. It detected this through motion detection, and now it's going to record the remainder of the sequence here. So that way you get a full understanding of what's happened before the incident or event, and in this case the motion detection event. Now the other cool thing about this is that you're able to go ahead through the application and figure out where on the screen, where on the sensor, if it detects motion, it will actually trigger this event. Or if there's a part of the screen where you're like, there's always motion here depending on where I park, you don't even have to go ahead and have it trigger for that motion detection event. So motion detection recording works like this, and you could set it up to auto time off at a specific time. I have my motion detection for parking mode automatically turn off after 36 hours. So here's another example. The garage was open, and this is a new clip. It just recorded a bit because a car was coming up and is parking. So it recorded the previous event to the trigger event, and then everything after the trigger event. That's how the parking mode recording features work. Now the motion detection feature works exactly the same as the impact detection feature. All that changes is the trigger event is not motion, it's impact of the car, and that's felt through the G sensor on the dash cam. So exact same kind of similar system, but for impacts, especially important if you're in a parking lot, for example, and someone hits your car, maybe from a side or something, and you can catch them kind of running away. But that's it. The parking mode is really, really critical for me, and this camera has so many options to customize it to your liking, and it gives me that peace of mind knowing that my car is always protected no matter where I'm parked. Now I'm going to talk to you guys about the smartphone application, and this is one of the most important features about the camera. I'm going to go inside the app, walk you through what I like, what I don't like when I'm talking about this dash cam in comparison to some other vendors that are out there like Thinkware. So this is the Blackvue app. You get in here. I have the Wi-Fi set up, so I'm already connected to the Wi-Fi as you see here. Blackvue E900S is the Wi-Fi name. And if I go back to the application here, I have 4 options kind of as my main homepage. Blackvue battery. I don't actually have Blackvue battery because that's an option to hardwire for your parking mode. I'm actually hardwired completely into the fuse box. There's Blackvue Cloud. If you do have that cloud feature, and I'll talk about that a little bit, but essentially you're going to be able to hi-fi or Wi-Fi hotspot and connect your dash cam to the cloud so you can access your dash cam from anywhere you are where you have Wi-Fi or any internet connection. So that's really cool, especially if you want to have that peace of mind. You're somewhere, if you can go ahead and put a Wi-Fi hotspot in your car is always going to be connected with you, and you're going to know what's going on with it. But in the case here, I have the Blackvue Wi-Fi, so I am connected to the Blackvue dashcam by the Wi-Fi right now. I'm going to go in here and kind of talk about some of the features in the camera that you can go ahead and adjust. So I've clicked on here in the Blackvue Wi-Fi. Here you go. So now you can see kind of like the video footage, front and rear cameras, as you can see here. from the video. You can kind of sort between external events, parking mode, motion detection up here. So these four are here: motion, parking, event, and N must be continuous recording. But those are the kind of the four sections that you can go ahead and look at the camera footage right here. You can scroll, and obviously you can access any of these. If you go into the settings, so on the top right, this is where you're going to get really kind of all the settings in terms of the firmware option that you have. So let's go into the firmware settings. I'm on the most latest version as of June 15th or 14th. So here we can go ahead and dive deep inside of the Dashcam's options. So if I go to basic, I got my time. Okay, great. I can set up my time and dates. I've marked it for Eastern time zone. Understood. Go back. Video. So here I've set it up for the front-facing video resolution to be 4K Ultra HD at 30 extreme quality, with the rear camera bringing the full HD at 30 frames per second at 1080p full HD. Now, I'm using this setting because I want the best quality out of it, and everything that you see in this review is at this setting, at 4K UHD 30 Extreme. Now, the codec is really important in part of this. If you're doing 4K, 4K files are typically very massive, and most of the time you're compressing them at H.264. But the Blackvue camera, this series, gives you the ability to go ahead and encode it at H.265, and this is going to reduce the file size significantly of your 4K files. I've gone ahead and noticed that the card that they've given me does not fill up as fast. It's about 30% savings roughly in terms of consumption of file size for an equivalent 4K recording on H.264. So H.265 is definitely something you want to use if you're doing 4K. Then you have some enhanced night vision on. Image quality is the highest. Brightness, front and rear, you can go ahead and adjust that. But that's pretty much it for the video camera settings. Recording options. So normal recording is on. I have parking mode enabled on this as well, so you guys know I have installed this hardwired through the fuse. And I have motion and impact detection on for parking mode. Rear camera recording in parking mode. I do want that, so I have that on. You can go ahead and turn that off if you'd like, but I'm keeping that on. Voice recording, I leave that on as well. Date and time display, I leave that on. You're probably looking at this footage right now, and you're seeing date and time display is always on. Speed is kilometers per hour in Canada, so I'm keeping it like that. Need lock event files, which you could also do. Front camera rotation if you have it mounted upside down. And rear camera orientation as well if for whatever reason you're mounting, you need to mount the camera upside down. So that's recording options, video and time. That's the basic settings. Then you have your sensitivity settings, and these settings essentially tell the G sensor when do you want to record those event detection events. So G sensors normal right now, I have it on setting 2, which is the one of the most least sensitive settings, for normal mode, which is continuous operation mode. So I have this in the low settings because I don't want it to pick up bumps or potholes on the road. That'll just cause a lot of video footage to be event detected. Then there's parking mode, where obviously when in a parking event and the car is stopped, I want it to be extremely sensitive. So I have it set at 9 for up and down, side to side, and front to back. So if it detects anything, the car movement in any way, it's going to record it and pick it up in a buffered recording mode, which is really cool. And then motion detection, I have this at 4 because I park this car typically. When I do park it, it's somewhere outside and I don't want it to pick up, you know, every little thing and start recording. So I've gone ahead and set it at 4. You can also set a detection region here, which is pretty cool. So you can say, you know, if you see movement here or here specifically in the camera's field of view, I want to pick that up. And you're able to do that with this camera, which is a really neat feature. System, so you have your system settings, so LED, proximity sensor for voice recording on or off, voice guidance, the volume, you can schedule it to reboot, you have a speed alert, user text overlay, so a lot of cool features here as well. And Wi-Fi, so I'm on 5 gigahertz band. I have Wi-Fi auto turn off on because if I'm not by the car, I might as well turn it off to save energy. And then you can also have Wi-Fi turn on as well, but on 5 gigahertz, you can change it to 2.4 gigahertz if you'd like, depending on what works best for you, but typically 5 gigahertz is probably the best, especially in short range. And then cloud. I don't have the cloud feature enabled, but if you did, you'd go ahead and enable the cloud feature here. One thing I maybe will call out here is the LED. I forgot to mention this, is that you can have the LEDs on depending on what is happening. So I've left the LED on for recording, so people know when they're walking by the camera, it's recording them. Front security and front security for normal and parking mode, I left them on because when I'm in parking mode or I'm in normal mode, I want the red light to be flickering on the camera so people know I'm recording them and I'm watching. The same for the rear camera, so rear security is on as well, and Wi-Fi parking mode. So I've left all those on. If you want to have some, subtleness in this and you don't want people to know, then turn them off, but I'm keeping them on. So those are all the settings pretty much. So I'm going to save without closing, that's fine, and I'll go back here. So what's cool here is that you can go ahead and click that. You can copy these into internal memory, so you can decide what are these files you want to copy over to your phone's SD card. So if I get out, if I go back to internal memory again here, I have nothing right now. That's fine. But if I go back to Wi-Fi, I'm connected to the camera, I'm getting all the information from the SD card. I can select one of these that I want and go ahead and put it in my internal memory. Now what I'll do is show you like a piece of footage. So I can select the streaming quality of this. So I'm going to select original file and I'll stream the original quality file. But you can go ahead and play a quick file, a low res fast loading version. But here you go. This one's recording, or it's buffering now. It's going to load up on my phone. And there you go. So this is event. You can say, if you see movement here or here, specifically in the camera's field of view, I want to pick that up. And you're able to do that with this camera, which is a really neat feature. So you can see here, it was literally just recording because it detected when I went in the car and I was moving in the car, it detected the G sensor. So that's happening right now and the car is on. But you can see here, you can go ahead and actually change it now. And it's going to switch over. I just clicked here. It's going to switch over now to the rear camera, and it's going to show me the rear camera's footage that I've recorded. So this is really cool. So you're able to see, not only are you able to record the audio that's happening, and it captures audio outside as well to a degree. With this camera, which is a really neat feature. And it records all the audio, which is great. And you can see from the video quality is phenomenal all the time on this thing, especially the front camera at the 4K. So I can go ahead here, I can take this, I can say okay, I can buffer it. If I don't want to buffer it now, I can kind of exit out, and I could select one of these to import to my phone. I click OK, and it's going to copy all those files. So in this case, I don't want to copy all that, so I'm just going to copy this and hit copy. I'm in this SD card, and it's showing me all these files. Unfortunately, when I put the SD card in my computer, it does not actually sort them by folders. It just puts in a bunch of files, and yes, they have the name recognition there, so obviously it's going to say, so if you look at the top file, it's the file name _PF, which stands for parking front camera, and the one under that is parking rear camera. So those are parking mode events. Cool, so you can sort it by that, but I would have loved if they had the file folder structure. It makes it a lot easier to understand what video file you're looking at, instead of having 100 different video files they have to sort through. So Blackvue, if you're hearing this and watching this, please add this feature to the SD card format file structure so you can do this. But otherwise, it's a good app. It's nothing crazy. It's kind of low performance in terms of how quick it is sometimes. It's kind of full of ads as well. So I haven't shown it to you here, but it does pop up with the ads occasionally on the front page, on the splash screen, to go buy some stuff or to upgrade or whatever the ads are. Let's see if I can get back to it. I can't right now, but it does have ads, which I detest. But otherwise, it's good. It does exactly what I need to do in terms of an app. It gives me quick access to my video files. I'm able to go ahead and watch the camera if it's connected to Wi-Fi or to a cloud device or cloud hotspot. And it's pretty easy for me to just take out the SD card and put it in my computer and look at the files. And the app is good, but the big thing is that it allows me to go ahead and manage the settings, have all that locked down, but the video quality speaks for itself, and that's what I bought this camera for. So there you have it, guys. That is my review of the Blackvue DR900S Dual Channel Dashcam. I really love this camera. It is expensive, $679 Canadian for this package as we speak right now. But it is an investment. It is an insurance investment for your vehicle. If you really love your car, or if you're parked somewhere, or you live in a city where it's a little bit dangerous, or you just need some protection, you may have been vandalized before, or something has happened before, and you need some really top-end security with a lot of great features to keep track of your investment and in your car, this is a dash cam that I would fully recommend. It is not only very sleek looking, really good quality in terms of the video quality again, and we showed that. Great functionality with the smartphone application, and it really has everything that you would want in a dash cam. Great image quality, a great parking mode, a buffered parking mode, access to cloud features if you need the cloud features, great Wi-Fi. It's just super user-friendly, easy to use, was really easy to install. Overall, this is definitely one of the best dash cams in the market right now with the front 4K sensor. I think it's a great all-around package. There is a premium to pay for the price, but you are getting a premium set of features. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys, when you're looking for a dash cam, you make the right choice in picking something to protect your investment in your car, to protect yourself as well in the future for any type of event. If you got any other questions, leave them in the comment box down below. Again, don't forget to subscribe. A lot more great videos coming up in 2019. Looking forward to it. Thank you guys so much. 18,000 plus subscribers to this channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Keep riding safe and keep driving safe.